I know it has been a long while, a long time since I've done an update involving this young woman you see in the picture by the name of Kiera Coles. Now, if you are unaware of the story, last year on October 2nd, Kiera Coles just kind of vanished out of thin air and she went missing and nobody has heard from her since. Now, she was a postal worker. She worked for the U.S. Postal Service. And one day they said she was walking up and down the street, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. Like she walked into somewhere and then they never saw her again. And this is a very weird story right here. And I think one of the worst parts about this is that she was 3 months pregnant at the time. So that means if she is still alive, she would have already had her baby maybe a few months ago, maybe around the springtime or somewhere around that time. But the update is that over a year later, she's still missing. Like they're still looking for her and they don't have any clue of where she could possibly be at. One of the things that they usually do with an investigation is if it was in a relationship with somebody, which I believe she was, which was the father of the child, is to investigate him to see if he had any involvement with that. But they said there wasn't enough evidence to pin him even doing or causing her to just kind of disappear or to have any kind of involvement with it. So they pretty much ruled him out as a suspect. So it's like they're back at ground zero and they've been stuck there ever since. And I think one of the saddest things also about this, besides the fact that she's been missing for over a year and she was 3 months pregnant when they last saw her, was the fact with her dad. I have to give huge kudos to her dad because he was determined to find his daughter or have his daughter be found. I guess no matter what the circumstance is, but hopefully under good terms, especially since she was pregnant with his grandchild. It got to the point where he would actually get in his car and sit outside where she was last seen every single day. I will never forget reading that. He would get in his car and he would sit outside of where she disappeared every day, to the point where he would miss work in hopes that he would see his daughter just walking down the street, in hopes that, he would find his daughter. Like they said that he would sometimes camp out in his car. You know how people do a stakeout? He would do something like that. He wouldn't even go home to his other family in hopes to find her. And he did that every day. I don't know if he's still doing it, but I know at the time when they was looking for her, he would stay out there every day. Sometimes he would never go home. Sometimes he would miss work. It started to affect his work life because he was he was having high hopes of his daughter being found. And it's crazy. And at the time I kept saying, I hope that they find her. I would even check. Many of you don't know, but when I say that I stay on top of certain stories, I stay on top of them to the point where Google will recognize the name in the search bar and it'll be highlighted. I was checking every single day to see if there was an update to come about her, to the point where it started to dwindle. I would check maybe once a week or something like that. And this update that I'm talking about came out October 3rd. I should have brought this story to you a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, I did not. I was hoping that something would come about, something else would come from that besides the part of them just saying that she's been missing for over a year. I was hoping that something along the lines of her being found was going to come across my way, but unfortunately it did not. But it's unfortunate because, like I said, it's two people missing. Her and the child that she was pregnant with. I say was because by this time she would have already given birth. And I think that's the part that's really scary about it, is because she wasn't the only one that's gone missing, and they're wondering where she could be at with that child. And 9 times out of 10, if the worst has happened, one or two things could have occurred. One, she's deceased and the child is as well, or she's deceased and someone took the child and has the child with them, at which both of them would be tragic. But that second one will be even more tragic, because if they were to find her and they couldn't find a child, then they gotta search again to try to figure out where the baby is, because the child could be anywhere with anybody. And with how these human trafficking cases occur nowadays, people will do anything with a child. And that's a scary thought. I hate to have that thought, but in this society in 2019, people will do just about anything for money. And children sell well on the human trafficking market. It's the younger they are, the more money they will bring. Like, I don't know what's like what else to really make of this. I just wanted to bring y'all this long awaited update. Just let y'all know I have been keeping track of this, because I told people when this story first came out, I was going to stay on top of it. And I know I didn't talk about it for a while because there really wasn't nothing to talk about. Like, it was just month after month went by and there was no update. Like, there was really no update other than they said, oh, this month has occurred. She's still missing. Oh, this month occurred. She's missing. And by now she has given birth if she's still alive. Now it's over a year later and she's still missing. And if she's still alive, then her and the baby are still missing. And we don't know who could have done this or why they could have done this. I hope that she wasn't mixed up in anything. I really hope that she wasn't, because that would be a plot twist right there. But I'm gonna remain and have a thought where and say to myself, she wasn't mixed up in anything and someone just randomly kidnapped her or somebody. But you know what? I don't even think it was random. I can believe that it was somebody that probably knew where she worked. Because they said in the article that she had called off that day, that her job said that she called off that day. But when she went missing, she had her uniform on. So I'm like, if she called off that day, why did she have her uniform on? She wasn't going to work. So it's like something fishy is going on here, like with this whole story. But I just wanted to bring y'all this update involving Kiera Coles. It's still a very big mystery as to what could have happened to her. I mean, I hope they find her, but it's looking really bleak right now. Like, it's very rare that people can go missing for long periods of times and they actually find them alive. It's very, very rare that occurs, especially if this person was pregnant at the time of their disappearance. She was only 3 months pregnant. It's not like she was about to give birth like the next day. She still had some time to go. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.